Is a global standard na dapat around 4 to 6% of the GDP ang ina-allocate for education budget. Now, sa atin, for the past years, we never breached the 4% mark. Currently, we are at parang 3.4 of our GDP lang yan. So malayo pa din from the ideal 4 to 6%. Also, kung titingnan din natin, even with the budget, magandang busisiin din yung allocation, kung saan talaga siya naka-allocate. Allocation in terms ba of, ang pinakamataas na allocation pa dyan ay those directly contributing to learning outcomes. And in this case, yung nakaka-contribute na mas matututo ang ating mga learners? Or is it more on, let's say, classrooms, infrastructure, so on and so forth? It's a welcome development na tumataas po ang budget ng education yearly. And again, that's a constitutional mandate. Pero babalik ko lang din po yan sa katulad ng palagi po namin sinasabi na more than the budget allocation, kung saan may pagkukulang na tayo, maganda rin tingnan kung paano siya ina-allocate.
So, follow-up lang po.
Kung sagutin yan sa kasama po ng una mong tanong, kung kayo na tayo tuturo. Ano po yung problema ng matagal ng sinasabi ng people? Ang problema ng sistema ng pag-edukasyon natin, hindi po dahil sa isang administrasyon or any one administration. It really came from a decades of neglect. Siguro nagsimula po ng late 1960s, 1970s. Kasi dati po talagang we were, hindi ko alam kung may makakaalala pa, our education system was how do you say this, the standard in Southeast Asia. Dito pumupunta lahat para mag-aral and we were really tops. Pero siguro ng 1960s, 1970s, medyo nakita na natin yung simula ng pag-decline. It really began a lot with the reduction in budget. Medyo nag-drop talaga yung budget in education. Mas tuloy-tuloy na yan yung pag-neglect sa edukasyon. And siguro kasalanan po natin lahat eh. Hinayaan po natin mangyari for decades yung mga pagbabago. So hindi lang one administration. Tapos yung napakalaki ng problema, hirap talaga for any one group to make the changes that need to make. So, ako, sa amin sa PIPED, hindi na importante po yung patuturo kung sino may responsibility. It's more important to decide who of us should be accountable for the reforms. Now, going to your second question, ako ayoko pong maniwala na hindi po, ako naniniwala po ako na yung mga legislators ng gobyerno natin are interested in improving education in the country. Ayaw naman nila na yung mga citizens nila, yung mga botante nila, hindi marunong magbasa or hindi marunong o hindi makakuha ng trabaho, etc. I think we all want our people to live good and successful lives. Yung problema lang minsan, ang solusyon na hinahanap, pang short term, yung kitang-kita, halimbawa, free education, halimbawa, scholarships, halimbawa, ganyan, yung madaling maranasan kagad. Problema lang, yung mga pagbabago, minsan napakahaba ang resulta. Halimbawa yung K-12, implemented by back then Brother Armin and the Popular Administration. Ang mga changes nila sa K-12 na yan, hindi mo nararamdaman till 12 to 15 to even 20 years later. Kaya medyo naniniwala din kami na hindi tama na i-criticize yung K-12. Eh, parang technically young program pa yan. So, it needs more time to mature. But yan ang problema eh. The politicians make short-term decisions. But we need brave politicians who are willing to make long-term changes and reforms which might not be noticed, baka hindi mapansin. Halimbawa lang po, feeding programs or reading programs grades 1 to 3. Hindi mo na mapapansin ng voters yan till they become voters, which is 15 years later. So, dapat willing ka na tulungan mo ang mga botante na hindi maging botante till 15 to 20 years later. Pero hindi, concern is, sino mo boto ngayon? Sino mo boto in 3 years? So we're challenging our politicians to make long-term changes. Kasi yun po kailangan ng system. But I don't think po na, I'm sure they want to improve the lives of their people. I give 300 others give 2 more. Number 1 po, alam mo, ako personal to, hindi to PIPED, pero sa personal ko, alam mo po, karamihan talaga ng pagbabago, mahirap pong gawin pag hindi nag-decentralize. Kasi napakalaki ng depend. So we need to transfer more accountability sinabi ni Bal, sa locality para they can make changes. That's one. Number two po, I think the quality of our teachers. We really need to, alam mo, may kausap po kami sa DepEd. Tama yung sinabi, kahit anong pag-usap natin tungkol sa curriculum, pag-uwi ng curriculum, ayos ng curriculum, mas importante dyan yung teacher kaysa yung curriculum. So we really need to uplift the quality of our teachers and the lives of our teachers. Ikatlo po, early childhood. Kasi po ang problema natin, nagsisimula sa 0 to 5, sa grades kinder and grades 1. Dapat doon tayo mag-focus. Dapat doon pa lang marunong sila magbasa. So those are three, and that's where our energy should focus on. Medyo nung ikot ni Secretary Sani, together with the President nung opening of class, yun yung sinabi niya, we should focus on early years. Doon nagsisimula ang problema. Pag marunong mga kabataan natin, bata natin magbasa ng tama, grades 1 to 4, mas simple buhay nila. And yun actually, ng grade 4, di pa rin marunong magbasa. I don't think any of us here want our children not to read. So I think those are three. I don't know if you have two others.
Siguro idadagdag ko lang din talaga yung pag-align ng curriculum sa mga demands ng industry. Kasi kung titingnan natin, karamihan naman ng objective, no, kung bakit nag-aaral or bakit pumunta ng eskwelahan para magkaroon ng brighter future, no, para magkaroon ng trabaho. But then, kung ang curriculum sa senior high school and also in the college is not aligned to the demands of the industry, lumalawak yung job skills mismatch. So, ibig sabihin, kahit gumraduate na, pero hindi yun yung kailangan ng ating industriya, mahirap maghanap ng trabaho. So, kailangan better alignment of the education, curriculum, education and training to the demands of the industry. So, yun. Siguro idadagdag ko din, no? Tatlo yung sinabi ni Sir. Dadagdag ako ng dalawa. So, yun yung una. Pangalawa is, kailangan din talaga ng whole of society approach. No? Kasi, kung titingnan po natin, yung sinabi po sa report, napakadami ng backlogs. Classrooms, thousands, hundreds of thousands. Teachers, hundreds of thousands. And then, every school year po, nagko-compound yung backlogs na yun, dumadami ng dumadami. So, again, budget-wise, and also participation from the private sector. Kailangan, as what I've said, whole of society approach. Tingnan natin kung saan pwedeng mag-ambag ang private sector in terms of addressing the backlogs. Baka dapat tingnan kung paano public-private complementarity to address, let's say, the classroom shortage. So, baka yun, idadagdag ko yung dalawang yun.